This is a pretty massive story, in my opinion. Here we go, so it stays on top. 7 out of 9 the Seattle City Council members have vowed to support defunding the police by 50% in Seattle. Seattle police budget is around $400 million, so that would be $200 million going to community programs. I mean, that's fucking amazing, right? That's has the potential to do so much good. Less people behind bars, less communities being terrorized by the police, particularly, communities of color, other marginalized groups as well. Eating some peas from the garden. I'm super thankful for that. So check out this video from Cairo 7.
This one involves major changes to the city's 911 operations. Right now, the majority of Seattle City
79.
Council is throwing its support behind a new coalition called Decriminalize Seattle.
It presented a plan to redirect millions from SPD's budget to community-based organizations. And Cairo 7's Lindsay Sheldon asked Police Chief Carmen Best for her response to this. And Lindsay, she's really cautioning them about moving so quickly.
We are talking about cutting 200...
Of course she is. Carmen, she is a horrible, horrible police chief. She sent out a tweet the other day mourning the death of Mary Kay Letourneau, former Washington State teacher who had sex with her student. And you don't see her, tweeting about, people have been killed by the Seattle Police Department, at least not to my knowledge. So of course she's going to say, we got to take baby steps. We got to take baby steps. Of course.
$1 million from SPD's budget. And Chief Best said there needs to be a lot more widespread community engagement here. It comes as some organizations today, including the Black Trans Task Force, student groups, Africatown, and others, voiced their support.
The status quo is no longer acceptable.
Seattle City Council President Lorena Gonzalez said today, while she previously believed in police reform, she now believes in rebuilding.
I take personal responsibility for every vote I have taken that has contributed to the expansion of law enforcement and those
Thank you, Lorena, for change of heart.
At the expense of community-based investments. And I owe it to all of you to say that I am sorry for those votes.
It was a sentiment echoed by other council members.
I look forward to implementing the proposals outlined by you all.
Throwing their support behind Decriminalize Seattle's plan to defund the police department by 50%. According to the coalition, that plan would replace the current 911 operations with a civilian-controlled system, scale up community-led solutions, fund a community-created roadmap to life without policing, and invest in housing for all.
Ensure that young people and our families have access.
Nikita Oliver would have made an amazing mayor for Seattle. Why, Seattleites, why did you not support her over fucking Jenny Durkin? I mean, goddamn. We could have had Nikita Oliver, social justice activist, lawyer, artist, just amazing all-around person. We got fucking Jenny Durkin. I mean, goddamn.
The sorts of resources, housing, economic and employment opportunity, healthcare, education, which actually prevent young people and their families from ever entering the school-to-prison pipeline.
When millions of people took to the street to protest excessive use of force and police violence, they were met with excessive use of force and police violence. And it's not just about a few bad actors. It is the institution of policing itself that must be dismantled.
I asked Police Chief Carmen Best about those words today.
I respect Councilmember Mosqueda. I think that she is very passionate about what she's doing, but she also needs to think about, the fact that public safety and the budget are intertwined, and that we need to make sure that we're doing what's in the best interest of everybody.
Again, she's just deflecting from the issue because, again, what Nikita Oliver and these council people are proposing is investing in programs that will address the root causes of crime, investing in housing, jobs, healthcare, education, mental health services. I mean, for fuck's sake, anything would be better than giving the Seattle Police Department $400 million a year to brutalize and oppress and marginalize, communities of color, other marginalized groups, and it's really, again, not surprising that the chief of police is trying to say, well, we gotta slow it down. We gotta think about public safety. The Seattle fucking Police Department has been brutalizing peaceful protesters like council member, I think it was Mosqueda pointed out since this started. Again, the protests were protesting police brutality. They were met with more violence and brutality from the Seattle Police Department. There's no reforming that shit. Come on.
If anybody recognizes issues of systemic racism and institutional racism, it's me.
The city has cautioned that removing 50% of funding would mean losing about 1,000 personnel.
Good.
I'm hoping that the city council will rethink the plan to do that without having a plan for how we're going to re-envision policing and how it will work.
Again, the plan is to address the material conditions that lead to people having to commit crime in the first place. It's not that complicated, really.
The deputy mayor.
And again, police aren't out there preventing crime. They're responding to it. Address the root causes. Again, invest in programs of social uplift. It's not that freaking difficult. Education, housing, healthcare, mental health services, jobs, arts, sports, cultural stuff. I mean, for fuck's sake, it's not that difficult.
Sent an email to council laying out steps the mayor's office plans to take, including community engagement this summer. Lizzie Sheldon, Cairo 7 News.
Love to see it. Love to see it. And I think this... Shut up. I don't need you. I think this vote on defunding it by 50% will be happening in 2 weeks or something like that. Let's see if it says in here. Scaled up community-led solutions, investment in housing, fund for community creative roadmaps, or life. I mean, it's great. Housing, economic employment opportunity, healthcare, education, which actually prevent young people and their families from ever entering a school to prison pipeline. School to prison pipeline, or the prison industrial complex, Nikita Oliver and Creative Justice said. You want us to be visionaries and thinking through community solutions to policing, Jalen Scott with the Black Trans Task Force said. How many victims would not have been victims? Kay Wickham Garrett, CEO of Africa Town Community Land Trust. So, because when the police show up, there's already a victim and there's already a suspect who's also a victim in certain. Exactly. When millions of people took to the streets to protest excessive use of force, police violence, they were met with excessive use of force and police violence in Seattle. I mean, again, if the Seattle Police Department had not responded to these ongoing protests, rebellions, uprisings, however you want to characterize it, in such a brutal and repressive fashion, we wouldn't have got to this point. They made their bed, and now they're going to have their funding cut by 50%, and they only have themselves to blame. I mean, it's not that difficult. Proving that it's not just a few bad actors, Mosqueda said, it is time the institution of policing itself that must be dismantled. Boom! Boom! And then again, just Chief Best, just of course the authoritarian talking points we need. Oh shit! Went down the wrong pipe there. Chief Best just, without police, we're not gonna keep people safe and public safety, and just a bunch of bullshit. Just a bunch of bullshit. So, love to see it. Some good news. These people getting in the streets day after day, putting their health and lives on the line, like literally, because of how brutally repressive the Seattle Police Department's response has been to these protests. Look what it got. Really shows the power of collective action, getting in the streets, protesting. Kudos to everybody who has gotten out there. You were all a part of making this happen, especially the people, that have been out there consistently as well. All y'all deserve nothing but praise and love, because this is amazing. And $200 million in the community, has the potential to create a lot of positive things, and we'd love to see it. Peace.